Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you to India Insight 2021, a quiz conceptualized by Vidyaniketan Public School from Bangalore, not just for people across India, but for people across the world to celebrate India and to do that in a new medium, digitally. Presenting this quiz to all of you is a young talent, the only professional lady quiz host across Asia, who in 2020 by the Business Today group was recognized among the 40 under 40 emerging leaders and creators of engaging content from India. She is an alumnus of NITK Surathkal and has been a passionate educator, especially loves children. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome your host, Miss Rashmi Furtado.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and all you dear kids. Welcome to the India Insight Quiz conceptualized by the Vidyaniketan Public School in association with Greycaps Knowledge Tribe. This is a quiz that was started by Mrs. Prema Rajagopal, who is the founder of the Vidyaniketan Public School back in 2004. She did this with an intention of fostering young minds to appreciate Indian culture and help them build a nation where the youth are proud and use all the strengths from our history to embrace the future. This quiz has had over 15,000 children taking part in the first round, and from the first round we have shortlisted about 500 children for round 2. And from those 500, today we have the top 32 battling it out in the quarter-final to ensure they have their places secured in the semi-final. Before we move on, let me invite Mr. Vijay Krishna Rajagopal, an erudite leader and the director of the Vidyaniketan Public School, to join us. He has over 15 years of experience as an academic and an educator. He holds a master's degree in education with honours from the University of Western Australia. A very good quizzer himself, he is the world runner-up of the World Teachers Quiz. Mr. Vijay, if you could please join us and share your thoughts.
Dear students, welcome to India Insight online quiz. We are really happy that we are able to host the India Insight quiz online. This quiz was conceptualized in the year 2004 by our founder principal, late Srimati Prema Rajagopal. As a school, we always believed that children need to be instilled with the values and traditions of our great country. And this was the genesis of India Insight. We are really happy to note that many schools from the country are taking part. Also, there are many schools from abroad that are sending their students to participate in this global event. I wish all the students the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vijay. We have the first quarter-final here today of the junior category of the quiz. So without any further ado, let me quickly introduce all our 8 quarter-finalists to you. First up, we have Khushi Jain from Venkat International School, Bangalore. There she is. Following her, we have Spurti Rao. She's from St. Paul's English School, Bangalore. Next up, we have Tanya Yadav from Sunbeam School, Mao. Following her, we have Sanjana Bhatt from PSPB School in Chennai. Following her is Zaina Tasin. She is from Adamas International School in West Bengal. Up next is Durga. She is from Delhi Public School in Bangalore. We have Dhruti. She is from K International School, Tokyo. She's joining us all the way from Tokyo. And last but not the least, we have Dharitri. She's from Indian Education School, Kuwait, also a global participant. One thing to note here, all you ladies and gentlemen, is that this quiz has gone global this year. And as you can see, we have some global quizzers who have qualified to the quarterfinal. So let's see how all these quarterfinalists do here today and get straight into the quarterfinals. The rules of the game is very simple. I have 10 questions for all of them, all 10 questions on the buzzer. +1 if you get it right, -1 if you get it wrong. You have to press the buzzer, and once your name appears, I will call out your names and you will immediately unmute yourself and give me the answer. No 2 attempts on any question, so please bear that in mind. Any question, whether any one of you have buzzed or not, will stay alive only for about 5 to 7 seconds. Beyond that, the question will lapse and I will move to the next question. So if all of you are ready, good luck. I really hope you all do very well. Remember, 4 out of the 8 of you will qualify to the semi-final. So this round is all about qualifying to that semi-final and not necessarily about winning this quarter-final. All right, so let's start this game. All of you, good luck. The first question, I will be reading out all your questions, so you will have to listen to what I have to say. You can of course stop me in between and press the buzzer, that is not a problem, but when you do that, I will assume that you know the answer and that is the reason you're stopping me, and I will stop reading the rest of the question. All right, keep that in mind. It's at your own risk that you will press the buzzer. All right, first question of the first quarterfinals for the junior category, India Inside Quiz. Let's begin. The first one, Purulia, Seraikela and Mayurbhanj are the types of dance styles of which traditional Indian... All right, who is it that we have on the buzzer? It's Dharitri. Go ahead, Dharitri.
Yes, ma'am. It is Odisha.
All right, -1, Dharitri. I said which dance style. I did not ask you the name of the state. The answer I was looking for is Chau. Chau is the dance form where we have these 3 different types that I mentioned in the question earlier. All right, no problem. We have 9 more questions to go. You can easily negate this -1 and move on in the positives. All right, moving on to question number 2. Here we go. Nanda dynasty was succeeded by which dynasty? Sanjana on the buzzer. Go ahead, Sanjana.
The Mauryas.
Could you repeat that, Sanjana?
The Mauryas.
The Maurya dynasty. +1 to you. You're absolutely right. The Maurya dynasty is the one that succeeded the Nanda dynasty. So Sanjana has opened her account. +1 is what she gets. Moving on to question number 3. After which war did Ashoka the Great of Maurya... All right, Spurti on the buzzer, not allowing me to complete the question. Go ahead, Spurti.
Kalinga War. Kalinga War.
What was my question, Spurti? What do you think my question was?
After which war did Ashoka stop ruling and go on the path of non-violence?
All right, no problem. You're almost on the right track. You're right. Kalinga War was the answer I was looking for. So +1 to you. Don't worry at all. The question was after which war did he move on to Buddhism. So you're absolutely right. +1 to you. Moving on to the 4th question of this round. Tamsa, Gomti, Kosi rivers are the tributaries of which river? All right, Spurti on the buzzer again. Go ahead, Spurti.
Ganga.
The Ganga, she's absolutely right. +1 to you. The Ganges or the Ganga is the answer I was looking for. Probably 3 of the not so well known tributaries, but this is the question and she got it right. Ganga, the answer I was looking for. Question number 5. Here we go. Battle of Chausa was fought between Mughal Emperor Humayun and whom? Zaina is on the buzzer. Go ahead, Zaina.
Sher Shah Suri.
Sher Shah Suri, you're absolutely right. +1 to you. Correct answer, and she gets a +1 for that. The scores is, girls, Spurti is on 2, Sanjana is on 1, Zaina is on 1, and Dharitri is on -1. And we now move on to question number 6, okay? So this is just for your understanding on where you all stand, so you can play your strategies accordingly. All right. Let's move on to question number 6 of this quarter final. How many union territories of India have the provision of elected legislature? All right, Spurti is on the buzzer. Go on, Spurti.
1.
Oh, -1 to you. I said how many union territories? Yes, I know you could have taken it as a trick question, but it is plural. It is 3 union territories. -1 to you, Spurti. The union territories are Delhi, Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir. All these 3 union territories have the provision of an elected legislature. Wow. All right, we know where all of you stand. Let's continue. Question number 7, here we go. Which politician currently holds the position of leader of Rajya Sabha or the upper house? Sanjana on the buzzer. Go ahead, Sanjana.
Venkaya Naidu.
-1, Sanjana, -1 to you. The answer I was looking for was Tawar Chand Gehlot. He is the leader of Rajya Sabha. Never mind, we have 3 more questions to go. Let me quickly tell you where all of you stand so you can plan your strategies accordingly. As of now, we have Spurti on +1, we have Zaina on +1 and Dharitri on -1. Sanjana actually lost out on her 1 because she took a negative in the previous question, but we have 3 more questions to go and 4 of you qualify. So let's see what happens. Stay calm, play well, you'll do well. All right, moving on to question number 8. What was the name given to the reforms introduced by the British government to introduce self-governing institutions gradually in India? Something from the history of our country. All right, Dharitri is on the buzzer. Go ahead, Dharitri.
Is it Montagu Kells reforms?
All right, +1 to you. Amazing. That's an amazing answer. You're right. It's the Montagu Chelmsford reforms or the Montfort reforms. It's also known as Montfort. I would have accepted even if you had told me Montfort, but you gave me the full name. So +1 to you. You're absolutely right. All right. So Dharitri gets a +1 and she negates the -1 she had taken earlier. So that's a good place to be. 2 more questions to go. And honestly, at this point in time, if Spurti and Zaina just stay quiet, I think they'll make it to the semi-final, unless they plan to take on a negative. But otherwise, I think it's pretty safe to say they have made it to the semi-final. Let's see who else makes it to the semi-final. And we have 2 more questions remaining, 2 more places in the semi-final remaining. All right, question number 9, here we go. Pune Pact was an agreement between Mahatma Gandhi and which other individual? I need a name. Dharitri on the buzzer. I need a name, Dharitri. Go on. All right, she's taking too long. I cannot hold on to this question any longer. She could not answer that question. Let's move on to question number 10 right away. Article 371A of the Indian Constitution gives special provision to which North Indian state? Khushi on the buzzer. Go ahead, Khushi.
Jammu and Kashmir.
Oh, -1 Khushi, -1 to you. I'm so sorry. The answer I was looking for was Nagaland. Nagaland is the one that has got a special provision under Article 371A. All right. As of now, can we have the scores? Okay, so we have Spurti and Zaina who have made it to the semi-final, and we have Tanya, Sanjana, Durga, Dhruti and Dharitri all on 0. So all of you will have a fair chance. I will have tiebreakers for you, and whichever one of you gets the tiebreaker right will move on to the semi-final. Okay, so as of now 2 of you can make it to the semi-final. So you press the buzzer, you get it right, you move to the semi-final. You press the buzzer, you get it wrong, automatically you're out of the tiebreaker because you will get a -1. I hope the rules are clear. Alright, I will be reading out your questions again, so please listen to me carefully. Alright, the first tiebreaker question, here we go. The Union Territories Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu were under which rule before gaining independence and joining Union of India? Alright, Sanjana was quick on the buzzer. Go on.
Portuguese.
Absolutely right. +1 to you, and Sanjana moves to the semi-final. Alright, so Sanjana makes it to the semi-final. One more place remaining in the semi-final, and let's see who takes that. The next question, tiebreaker question, here we go. Name the current legislative capital of the state of Andhra Pradesh. Alright, Durga on the buzzer. Go ahead, Durga.
Amravati.
Amravati, +1 to you. You're absolutely right. Amravati, the answer I was looking for. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our 4 semi-finalists, Spurti, Sanjana, Zaina and Durga. All 4 of them make it to the semi-final. Thank you so much for joining us. You all take care. Welcome back all of you to the second quarter final of the India Inside Junior category. Let me quickly introduce all of our quarter finalists to you. First up, we have Siddharth Nair from Vidyaniketan Public School, Bangalore. Siddharth, if you could just wave, smile. Alright, that's Siddharth for you. Coming up next is Mohammad Rivin. He is from Mahatma Montessori Metric School in KK Nagar, Madurai. Rivin, if you could just wave. Alright, that's Rivin. Up next is Arudra. He's from DPS Bangalore East. That's Arudra for you. Following Arudra is Akshobhya. He's from Vidyaniketan Public School, Bangalore. Alright. He seems in a very good energy and a high energy right now. That's good. Next is Anumegha Datta from Thakur Public School, Mumbai. That's her there. Let's move on to Deepak Nayak. He's from Presidency School, Bangalore. There he is. Next up is Aman Manoj from Bhavans Vidya Mandir, Ernakulam. Finally, we have Raghav Krishna from DAV, Kanchipuram. Raghav, if you could just wave. Alright, that's Raghav for you. The rules of the game are pretty much similar to what I explained in the first quarter final, but let me quickly refresh your memory. I have 10 questions for them, all 10 questions on the buzzer, +1 if they get it right, -1 if they get it wrong. As I read the question, if one of them press the buzzer, I will stop reading the question then and there because they are indicating to me that they know the answer. Also, once they press the buzzer, the name appears and I will call out their names. They will immediately unmute themselves and speak. After I ask the question will stay active or alive for about 5 to 7 seconds. If no one presses the buzzer within that time, the question will lapse and I will move on to the next question. The rest of the rules have been explained to all our quarter finalists here today. 4 out of the 8 of them will qualify to the semi-final. So let's get into the quarter finals. Alright, good luck all of you. I hope you all do really well. Question number 1. I will be reading out the question, so you will have to carefully listen to what I have to say. Alright, with that, let's begin. Question number 1, here we go. Name the person who represented the Anglo-Indian community in the Constituent Assembly which drafted the Constitution of India. Alright, quick on the buzzer. Rivin, go ahead Rivin. Rivin, if you could unmute yourself and speak, please. Rivin, you are taking too long. I cannot allow this long.
Mom, I'm going on with Mom, sorry, Mom. No idea.
Alright, -1 to Rivin right there. -1 is what he takes. The answer I was looking for is Frank Anthony. Frank Anthony is the answer I was looking for. Not an unknown name when it comes to our country. You would have heard his name, but I guess it's not registered. Alright. Moving on to question number 2 of this quarter-final. Here we go. Name the freedom fighter who is credited for designing the national flag of India. Not allowing me to complete the question. Aman, go ahead.
Pingali Venkaya.
+1 to you, you're absolutely right. Pingali Venkaya, the answer I was looking for. Moving on to question number 3. Hirakud Dam is built on which river? Anumegha on the buzzer. Go ahead, Anumegha.
The answer is Mahanadi.
+1 to you, you're absolutely right. Mahanadi, the answer I was looking for. She's right and she gets a +1 on that. Moving on to question number 4. Constitution Day or Samvidhan. Raghav on the buzzer. Go ahead, Raghav.
Ma'am, is it 26 November?
Wow, I was actually going to ask you, can you tell me what the question is? But you're absolutely right. 26 November is the answer I was looking for. That is when the Constitution Day of our country is. +1 to you, Raghav. You're absolutely right. Moving on to question number 5 of this quarter-final. Here we go. Operation Polo was... Aman on the buzzer. Go ahead, Aman.
Hyderabad.
I just said Operation Polo and you're telling me Hyderabad? Wow. +1 to you, +1 to you. He is absolutely prepared. If with 2 words or rather the code name he can tell me what the answer is, I think he's amazingly prepared. +1 to you, Aman. You're absolutely right. We are done with 5 questions of this quarter final. Let me quickly tell you where all of you stand so you can play the strategy for the rest of the questions properly. Alright, we have Anumegha on 1, Aman on 2 already and Raghav also on 1. Rivin has taken a -1 but we have 5 more questions remaining. So at any point in time he can negate and bring it back and gain scores in the positives. Remember kids, 4 of you qualify to the semi-finals. Let's see what happens. Too soon to tell who would qualify. Question number 6, here we go. First battle of Panipat ended. Rivin, go ahead Rivin.
I'm going on with 1526.
Alright, -1 Rivin again, -1. That is the risk that you take if you do not hear out the entire question. My question was, first battle of Panipat ended the rule of which empire? He takes a -1 on that. Let's see what happens. We have 4 more questions remaining. Anything can happen from now. Moving on to question number 7 of this quarter final. Here we go. Battle of Tughlaqabad, also called Battle of Delhi, was fought between the Mughal Empire and whom? Rivin on the buzzer again. Go ahead, Rivin.
It was fought between the Marathas and the Mughal.
All right. Can you give me name of a person? I need a person's name, Rivin. Rivin, is there someone?
I'm going on with Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji.
All right, -1 on that, Rivin. First of all, it was not the Marathas. Hemchandra Vikramaditya or Hemu, the answer I was looking for. He gets a -1 on that again. That's okay. Let's move on to question number 8. Here we go. Which article of the Indian Constitution talks about freedom of speech and expression? Rivin on the buzzer again. Go ahead, Rivin.
Going on with Article 19.
Article 19, +1 to you. You're absolutely right. Article 19, the answer I was looking for, and he gets a +1 on that. Absolutely right. +1 to you, Rivin. Moving on, question number 9. Here we go. Which flower is the state flower of both Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand? Rivin again. Go on, Rivin.
I'm going with lotus.
Going with lotus. Unfortunately, that's not the right answer. -1, Rivin. The answer I was looking for is Palash. Probably better known as the Palash tree, but Palash is the flower which is the same state flower for both the states. It's orange in color, beautiful flower. That was the right answer. Moving on, the last question, but before we get there, let me quickly tell you where all of you stand so you can plan your strategy accordingly. As of now, we have Rivin on -3. He can still, of course, go ahead and play for the next question. Let's see what happens. We have Anumegha Datta, she's on +1, Aman on +2 and Raghav on +1. I think it's safe to say that Anumegha, Aman and Raghav have already made it to the semi-final, unless of course Anumegha and Raghav decide to take a -1, which I don't think they will do. They are pretty safe to go into the semi-final. One more place in the semi-final remaining. Let's see what happens. Last question of this quarter final. All right, question number 10, here we go. Which is the oldest high court in India? Arudra on the buzzer. Go ahead, Arudra.
Madras High Court.
Oh, unfortunately, that's the wrong answer, Arudra. -1 to you. The answer I was looking for is Calcutta High Court. And yes, I said Calcutta because that is how it is. All right, with this we complete all the 10 questions of this quarter final, but we have not yet identified our 4th semi-finalist. So, Anumegha Datta, Aman and Raghav make it to the semi-final. Congratulations to all of you, but we have to identify the 4th one. Okay, we have Siddharth, Akshobhya and Deepak, all 3 on nil, and the 3 of them will be playing on a tiebreaker to make it to the semi-final. Only one of them can make it to the semi-final. Rivin and Arudra cannot play for the final place because they are already in the negatives. So the 3 of them, Siddharth, Akshobhya and Deepak, will now play for the final place in the semi-final. Let me get my tiebreaker questions for them. Guys, rules of the game is similar to what we just did. You press the buzzer, you get the answer right, you are in the semi-final. You get the answer wrong, you are out of the tiebreaker, and the other 2 continue to play for the last place in the semi-final. I hope that's clear. All right, tiebreaker question number 1. Here we go. All right, let me choose a good question for you. Okay, this is somewhat recent, you should know. Name the summer capital of the state of Uttarakhand. Deepak on the buzzer. Go ahead, Deepak.
It's Shimla.
Oh, -1, -1. Shimla would be Himachal Pradesh, and what I asked was Uttarakhand, so -1 to you. The answer I was looking for is Gair Sain. Okay, it's spelled G-A-I-R-S-A-I-N. It was in the news recently. That's why I thought you could be familiar with it. Moving on with the next tiebreaker question between Akshobhya and Siddharth. Here we go. Okay, who was the last Governor General of India? Last Governor General of India. A position of importance in our country. Raghav, you can't play. I can see you raising your hand, but you cannot play. All right, 5 seconds are up. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, which is the largest district in India by area? Okay, both Siddharth and Akshobhya are not trying at all. Okay, let me ask the next question here. Which is the largest saltwater lake in India? Largest saltwater lake in India. These would be some of the basics that you would want to read up when you come to an India quiz. Okay, no one trying. Anumega and Raghav, you can put your hands down. You are not allowed to play this tiebreaker. Okay, moving on to the next one. All right, this you must get. To celebrate the achievements of mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan, National Mathematics Day is held every year on which date? All right, not trying at all. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next question here. Name the current legislative capital of the state of Andhra Pradesh. Akshobhya on the buzzer. Go ahead, Akshobhya.
Amaravati.
Amaravati. +1 to you. You are absolutely right. Amaravati, the answer I was looking for, and with that, Akshobhya makes it to the semi-final. So, the 4 of our quarterfinalists who have made it to the semi-final are Akshobhya, Anumegha, Aman and Raghav. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in this quarterfinal. There are many more quarterfinals coming up, so keep watching this space and we will come back to you with many more interesting rounds of this India Insight quiz. You take care. Bye-bye.